Most of the time, I really struggle with planning my days. I have an infinite list of things that I could be doing, but I lack this ability to take these tasks and lay them out over time and space. The dreaded calendar is not my friend, and I frequently underestimate or overestimate how long it takes me to do really anything. Chores, tasks, laundry, lunch, I don't know. A lunch date could be anywhere from an hour and a half to 4 hours. And how do I plan for that? I thought this was something that I would just have to live with. This brain fog, the constant pool of half-formed ideas, the time blindness, and the feelings of both being rushed and anticipation of passing time. These were just symptoms of my ADHD. That is, until I found the right tools. I'm Kate, a therapist turned self-care enthusiast, and today I want to share with you how I use ChatGPT to combat my ADHD. Things like time blocking used to be a huge struggle, and now they're kind of an easy task. Now, if you've been in the productivity space or even just watched a few of these videos or seen a few of these faces, probably heard of time blocking. It's this idea of scheduling blocks of time instead of every minute of your day. Instead of appointments, you now have windows of time for you to do certain tasks like respond to emails, work on a project, or simply, I don't know, eat your lunch. Now, this is a marvelous idea unless you're somebody like me with ADHD or suffer from time blindness. And ADHD is one of those disorders in which you may be time blind. And what I mean by that is that your internal clock is consistently off. You know how to tell time, obviously, but you don't really know how to place it in your body. So you either underestimate or overestimate how much time it may take you to do certain things. When I was a kid, my mother used to ask me to clean my room, normal kid thing. And she would come back like an hour later and I would still be in one corner of my room. The rest of it a mess. But that one corner was immaculate and organized, and the precision was clear. And she'd get mad. She was like, "Kaylin, why haven't you cleaned your room?" And I was like, "I am. It's taking a long time because it needs to be very clean." But the point is, I didn't really know how to tell time. She would tell me I had an hour. I'd register that in my head. I'd be like, "Yep, I can do this in an hour." An hour comes and passes, and it's been 5 minutes in my head, and I'm still working on this corner. This still affects me today. I can't really tell you how long it takes me to get ready. My husband hates this. He loves it. I'm just kidding, he hates it. But frequently he'll say, "Okay, we have to be somewhere by 6, or we have 30 minutes to get ready. Do you think you can do that in that time?" And I'll be like, "Yeah, of course." And then I push it 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and he's like, "We gotta go now." And you know, this still affects me today. I can't really judge how long it takes me to get ready for really anything. And honestly, my partner hates this because it causes me to be chronically late for things. I'll push the limit and say, "Yeah, I can get ready in 30 minutes or 2 hours, or it doesn't really matter what the time is. I'm still gonna be late somehow." And if I have an appointment later in the day, say a dentist appointment or a doctor's appointment or anywhere that I'm meeting a friend or something, if it's in that weird mid-morning, mid-afternoon, I literally can't do anything before then. Like drink coffee, yeah, sure. But I can't play video games. I can't work because I'm chronically worried that I'm going to be late for this thing and I need to be ready for this thing. Even if I am ready to go, I'm still anticipating time. Weird concept. I don't really know how to explain it other than that. If you know, you know. I also frequently fall into rabbit holes of researching a topic or hobby for hours on end, without really accomplishing anything. So let me take you through the steps that I use with AI to help me plan my days. You thought we would still be at a computer, but you're wrong. I don't even open ChatGPT until I have some information first. And a lot of people, myself included, think that AI is all-knowing, but it's not Jarvis, at least not yet. It can only give you responses based on the information that you feed it. So if I ask it to give me a healthy meal option and it says, "Hey, you know what? Baked chicken and quinoa is great and healthy," but it has no idea that I hate quinoa, it's not gonna know that until I say it. So All this to say, to get good results on a schedule, you're gonna need to do a little prep work first. I usually start by opening up my iPad and using this planner app that I already have installed on my iPad called Zinnia. And I use the templates to get me started on the information that I need. Like, what are my tasks for the week? What are the social events that I have planned or would like to plan? And what are my priorities for the week? With a list of priorities and things I'd like to do and need to accomplish, I usually have a decent idea of what to tell ChatGPT because I have a better idea of what I need to get done today. And I usually like to add in some downtime or some time to just myself, because if I don't ask ChatGPT to do it, it's not going to, and then I'm not gonna feel very good. But here's an added tip. I usually like to keep a list of hobbies or things that I like to do in my downtime. And this can be new hobbies, this could be old hobbies, because I find that when I really have a bad time with my ADHD or brain fog or whatever it is, I'm just mentally drained, I usually forget all about the things that I've been wanting to try, like watercolor paint or checking out a new yarn store or watching a new TV show that my friend suggested, because I typically default to what I've been doing. And that leads me to feel a little bored and not really rejuvenated. So my list of things that I give ChatGPT might look like this. I take that list of things that we just gathered and I give it a prompt like so. Now, it's important that you use parameters, and time is a really important one here, such as what time of the day is it when you're trying to create a schedule? Because if you start at 9 a.m., that's a lot different than, hey, it's already 2 p.m. and I need the next 4 hours planned. Big difference. But also, what are your working hours? You know, you don't want to be working past 5 if that's when your quitting time is. And I like to even give it deadlines like a bedtime. Usually I'll say I want to be asleep by 10 p.m. or I need 8 hours of sleep and I hope to wake up at 8 a.m. Easy. Now it knows what to do with my time and when to schedule certain things. But you may also want to look at factors from your lifestyle, such as I have 2 dogs, so I need to take breaks to take them on walks or to potty them or to feed them or whatever it is. Or it could be I want to exercise today, so I need to schedule a time to go to the gym or get a run in, or, you know, I want to get a run in before dinner, but I don't want to be hungry, so I need a snack somewhere in there. These are helpful things for ChatGPT to know so that it gives you a schedule that works for your life. All this information is important to give ChatGPT because it doesn't know you from your neighbor, and you could be really different than your neighbor. If you don't want a generic schedule like get up, eat breakfast, have work hours, eat lunch, like that's a generic schedule. Anyone can create that. But if you want it to give it something that's catered to your life and the things that you need to do, then you gotta give it some information. Okay, this is gonna sound silly, but hear me out. Sometimes, even after I get a schedule made by ChatGPT, I will ask it to break down certain tasks. Teach me how to do, what are the steps needed to accomplish a task? And let me give you an example. Like, I might need to know what steps do I need to take to efficiently clean my house in 1 hour. Because people with ADHD and executive functioning problems, or really maybe anything, sometimes have difficulty breaking down more complex or process-based tasks. It's not a simple, okay, brush your teeth. It's a multi-step process, cleaning your houses. So it breaks it down into smaller actionable steps. Like, buy groceries can sometimes be way overwhelming because, like, which store do I need to go to? What do we need? Are we buying snacks or are we buying meals? Is this a meal planning thing? And do I need to plan the meals first and then make the grocery list? Like, there's a lot of different things. Are we just winging it? Are we going off of what I'm hungry for tonight? How many days am I buying for? There's a lot of questions that need to be answered. And sometimes just having a robot tell you the steps in order to accomplish that task makes it a little easier. Without these smaller steps, it feels like an all-day affair. Buying groceries, cleaning the house, these bigger processes things feels like too much. It can lead to mental overload. And anyone with kids can understand this, because if you ask a kid, hey, get ready for bed, you can come in 5 minutes later and what did they do to get ready for bed? I don't know, they arranged their stuffed animals in a line. Is that what you wanted them to do? Probably not. But it's a lot easier for you to say, hey, go brush your teeth, go put on your pajamas, pick out a book that you want to read. These are smaller steps that are all part of the process of getting ready for bed. And while no, ADHD doesn't mean that you're a child, we can all agree that sometimes if we don't focus on things will go missing or get forgotten if we don't have our routines and strategies. I mean, every time I leave the house, I go through my mantra: keys, wallet, phone, keys, wallet, phone. Do I have my keys? Do I have my wallet? Do I have my phone? Because most of the time, even if I forget anything else, I at least have the bare necessities that I need to make it around wherever I'm going. And my point is, don't be embarrassed to ask AI to break down tasks for you, because it's really a tool designed to make your life easier. And now it's time to go open ChatGPT. This last part of executing the schedule usually follows a few crucial steps. So after ChatGPT finally gives me an outline or a schedule or basic kind of time blocks, I usually write it down in my journal app with time windows. And this can be last minute script asset gathering, this could be lunch, this could be film and file management, this could be anything like research ideas, walk the dogs, but I name it in a little category so that I can mark it on my calendar. And it could be 30 minutes, it could be an hour to 4 hours. And after I write that down, I do this weird thing where I set timers on my phone, and you can see all the alarms on my phone. It's pretty insane, but I will usually set them to either end a time block or to start a new time block, or just give me a physical reminder to stop and change directions with what I'm doing. So usually I set them for meals, like, hey, stop to take lunch, or stop to cook dinner. Or if I wanted to walk the dogs at like 4:30 or be in the gym by 5:30, then I'll set an alarm for that. I'll be like, okay, by this time, I want to be doing X. Cool, now I have an alarm. Other times, I set timers for limitations. If I'm cleaning the house and I only have like an hour and a half before I need to get ready because we're throwing a party or a gathering or whatever, having people over, and I need to give myself time to get ready. So I have maybe an hour to clean and an hour to take a shower and get ready. Cool. I can't spend the 2 hours cleaning. So I'll set an hour timer of, hey, at the end of this hour, it doesn't matter what's left, it's gotta be good enough. And this is really where I find myself falling into the trap of I'm not finished until a task is perfect or my work is perfect. And I have a rule for that. You've probably heard of it before. Done is better than perfect. And for me, done is good enough. There's not really time in your day for perfection. I mean, there is a time to spend where you're working to hone in on a skill or make something really detailed or do whatever, but most of the time is not that time. So don't spend your whole day using a magic eraser, scrubbing scuffs off the wall and making sure your windowsills are nice and pretty and white. That doesn't matter. You only had an hour to clean, and whatever's left just has to be left. But I've been known to fall into that trap. Next kind of crucial step or crucial thought to just have in the back of your mind is don't be afraid to be flexible. Things change. Your dog throws up on the carpet during work hours. Obviously, you can't leave that until 5 p.m. That's disgusting. So like, stop, clean it, maybe take a break, flex whatever windows of time that you have. Maybe it means you take an earlier lunch. Or maybe it means that, you're really in the work zone right now, so you push lunch back and you spend an extra hour doing whatever you were doing and you take it off of something else. So don't be afraid to flex with it. Life happens and life requires you to be a little bit adaptable and flexible. Whatever AI gives you, don't be afraid to run with it and change it and let it adapt to your life, because after all, these are just puzzle pieces and they're meant to fit your life, not the other way around. You're not meant to fit into the schedule. The schedule is meant to fit for you. So this last step is to reflect on your schedule. And I think this is something we all forget to do, reflecting on how the day went, what was good, what was bad. Oftentimes we just go through and execute the day. We execute our schedule, we check things off, and we're like, good, it is good to go, I am accomplished. If we keep doing that over and over again and bouncing from one thing to the next without any rest or time to reflect, it can lead to burnout. I know I build up resentment for all the life's to-dos. I think something like, I always have to prep the meals, and that's not really fair. And I think I hate my job because, I never really get time to myself. When we stop to reflect, we start to see what matters. And we get to pay attention to how we're feeling. So we get to make observations that can lead us to a healthier lifestyle. Maybe I don't need an alarm for every time block. That annoys me, and I felt very aggravated today doing that. Okay, cool, make an adjustment. Or maybe it's, hey, I took a break between work hours for 10 minutes to just walk the dogs, and I came back feeling really refreshed, and it was just a really good afternoon. Maybe you should do more of that. The thing is, you won't know what you should do more or less of until you take the time to stop and reflect. And hint, if you don't remember it, schedule it in. Now, if you are one of those people that is struggling with executive functioning, whether ADHD or something else, it's important for you to remember to take action with these tools, because I used to collect all the tools. The planners, the markers, the pens, the highlighters, the stickers, the tabs, whatever it was, I had it, I loved it, but I became more obsessed with the tools themselves, and it became a hobby rather than a way to organize my life or something that would make my life better. So don't forget that the tools are tools. It's not the art themselves. You could gather all the paintbrushes in the world and still not be a great artist until you start using them and practicing with them. So same thing here, use AI, use it as a tool. It's free, it's available to you if you have internet. And don't waste your money on the planners. Don't waste your money on things that you don't need, but also use the things that you have. Now, I created this video because to me, making a schedule is a form of self-care. It's literally taking care of the way that I spend my time, because I too often find myself either wasting time doing things that I didn't need to do, like scrolling through social media, or I just aimlessly wander around the house trying to think of what I'm supposed to be doing. And if this isn't you, don't worry about it. Use it, see if it helps you. If it doesn't, great. But if you're like me and you struggle with managing your time, hopefully this will give you some freedom back. Hopefully this will give you more independence. Especially, I noticed when I was living alone or when I was spending my days alone, even if I was in a structured job setting or school, I didn't know what to do with myself. I almost needed a mom or something saying, okay, now it's snack time. Okay, now it's playtime. I needed that level of structure to understand and make sense of the days I had ahead of me. Otherwise, I just would spend them lost. And for me, being able to use AI and use these tools and even write them down in journals and planners and whatnot has given me a lot of freedom. It feels like I can live on my own and I can live a healthy lifestyle that is enriching to me, and I don't forget about the hobbies that I've wanted to do or the things that I've wanted to spend time on. So hopefully this helps you. Let me know what tools you use, so let me know if this helps you, or I'd honestly like to know what creative ways that you've used ChatGPT to help you in your daily lives. That would be interesting to know. So I'll catch you guys next time.